Good evening and welcome Michigan DECA members to this edition of our monthly Google Hangout series. I am Dan Lee, your state president. Tonight we'll be discussing the upcoming State Career Development Conference, the 2015-2016 state officer elections, and the international conference in Orlando, Florida. You can join the discussion on Twitter using the hashtag #MIDECA. Tonight joining me is Cole Stewart, Vice President of Community Service, Kofi Ofori-Darko, Vice President of Chapter Development, Stefan Santrach, Vice President of Career Development, and Ali Nasrallah, your State Secretary. First, Cole is going to start us off talking about social media.
Hi, congratulations to everyone attending the State Career Development Conference next month. I'm excited to see all of you again and hopefully see you connected with Michigan DECA on Twitter and Instagram. Now is the time for all of you to be very active on your social media accounts. All of you have the chance to be featured on our Michigan DECA Instagram or Twitter if you're using the hashtag #MIDECA. During the conference, we'll be live streaming tweets that use hashtag #MIDECA, so make sure you're staying connected. Just as a reminder, Mondays are hashtag Michigan Monday, Tuesdays are hashtag Tip Tuesday, Wednesdays are hashtag Recognition Wednesday, Thursdays are hashtag Throwback Thursday, and Fridays are hashtag Fan Friday. Though we don't expect this to happen, make sure you guys are staying respectful and don't tweet anything disrespectful or unprofessional regarding Michigan DECA. Officials will be tracking the feed and everything associated with Michigan DECA, so stay safe. Can't wait to see you all there.
Thank you, Cole. With the state conference fast approaching, so is the time for Michigan DECA to elect a new state executive council. Kofi is here to explain the election process.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for is here. If you go onto the Michigan DECA website right now, we have posted the candidates for this coming year's election. The election process will go as follows. At 4 p.m. on Friday of the state conference, March 13th, we will have all the candidates set up their booths for their campaign. From 4 to 7, you will be able to visit the booths and speak with each of the candidates and learn more about their plans for Michigan DECA. At the opening session, each of the candidates will be delivering a 2-minute speech to everyone present. Afterwards, voting delegates from each chapter will be voting to have a say in who will lead Michigan DECA in the next coming year. Thank you.
Thank you, Kofi. The state conference will make Grand Rapids an exciting city throughout the weekend. Ali is here to share some fun things you can do during the state conference.
So while there's plenty to do in Grand Rapids, during the SEDC specifically, there are things around the city and within the Amway Hotel that you could be doing. One thing is to go to one of the museums. There are 3 within a short walking distance of the hotels that we'll all be staying at. They're scattered actually around, so I mean, pretty cool thing. Also, there's the Grand River, which runs through Grand Rapids and actually goes in the backyard, basically, of the Amway, the JW Marriott Hotel, and some of the other hotels. So it's a pretty cool view and something pretty nice to walk along to see. There will also be a student lounge area at the Pantlind Ballroom in the Amway Hotel from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., where students can go and hang out with each other when they're not competing. Lastly, there will be a Griffins hockey game Saturday, which is March 14th at 8 p.m. against the Rockford Ice Hogs. So there's plenty of things to do, not including restaurants, going out with friends, things like that. So these are some pretty interesting things. Thanks.
Thank you, Ali. Now there are plenty of other things to do, and that's on our schedule for the state conference. Stefan is here to share the overview of the agenda for the state conference.
All right, so when you check in on Friday is going to be a pretty busy day. Orientation and scheduling are taking place on Friday prior to the opening session, so be sure to check the program and find out where and when you need to be in order to check in for your event. Also, come check out the state officer candidate booths. Those will be open from 8 to 9 in the Sakia lobby of the DeVos place. So come stop on by prior to opening session, check those out, see who's running for office for next year. Maybe if you're a voting delegate, you'll find someone you want to vote for. Opening session is from 9 to 10:30 on that Friday night in the Sea House Ballroom of the DeVos Place, and curfew is at 11:30. Don't be late, and no food deliveries can take place after curfew on any of the nights. So plan ahead if you feel you're going to get those midnight snack urges. Saturday, competitive events run throughout the day at various locations. So again, check the program and make sure you know where you need to be and when you need to be there. Vendors and the career exposition will be open from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the center concourse. The econ and math exam will be held from 9:30 to 2:30 on the Saturday. The econ exam is in the governor's ballroom, and the math exam will be held in the Randenburg ballroom. From 11 to 4 p.m., the student lounge will be added, where you can go hang out with your friends and other Michigan DECA members. And capping off the night on Saturday from 8 to 10:30 is the Grand Rapids Griffin game, right before 11:30 curfew. On Sunday, kick your morning off right with breakfast by hotel at 7:30 to 9. Just by bringing your ticket, you can get in for free. Awards session will be starting at 9:30 and ending by 12. This will be, again, in the steel case ballroom of the DeVos Place. Thanks.
Thank you, Stefan. Now, after the state conference, qualifiers will earn a trip to Orlando, Florida for the International Career Development Conference. Cole is going to share the details of the most exciting DECA event of the year.
Hi again. First off, I wanted to congratulate all of our viewers who qualified to compete in next month's State Career Development Conference. Here, you'll get a chance to compete for those coveted spots to represent Michigan DECA in Orlando, Florida at the International Career Development Conference. The International Career Development Conference starts on April 24th and ends on the 28th. Whether you're attending through a leadership academy, role-play competition, or any other event, you'll be able to see the beautiful city of Orlando and make connections with other DECA members from across the globe. You'll have the opportunity to see Walt Disney World, SeaWorld, Universal Studios, and many other of Orlando's finest attractions. There will be a college and career exhibits, a DECA superstore with all the latest DECA gear, and even a 5K run or walk. Simply put, this year's ICDC will be definitely one to remember.
Thank you, Cole. Now, your trip to Orlando, Florida depends on your performance at the state conference in Grand Rapids. So Stefan is here to share some competition tips to up your game.
Hey, thank you, Dan. So March 13th is when the State Career Development Conference is actually kicking off, so it's around the corner and it's sooner than you'd think. As always, make sure to study and get a good night's rest before the cluster exam and your role plays. Don't forget the cluster exam, as it's still 1/3 of your score. So just because it's not at the conference, don't neglect that it could be right around the corner for you and your chapter. While at the conference, check the location and times of both your registration and competition times. Make sure that you're leaving with plenty of time so that you're not stressed or late. Plenty of events actually have 2 role plays offered at the state level, so relax, take your time, and do your best. As you know, it might not be the end of the world if one role play goes rough, so don't beat yourself up over it. Be confident and do your best. Make sure that you're putting that marketing education to work.
Thank you, Stefan. This year's State Career Development Conference will surely be one of the best Michigan DECA events yet. It will be an exciting opportunity to meet all my fellow DECA members and see who moves on to the next stage in Orlando. Thank you for joining us tonight in this Google Hangout. Your state officers and I surely look forward to seeing every one of you in Grand Rapids.